I want to go back and tie up a few loose ends. In previous chapters, I said that I would share more information from some of the books that I referenced. So here we go. The Enzyme Factor by Dr. Hiromi Shinya. As I stated in the beginning, we have now entered an age where we need to look out for our own health. Instead of just accepting information someone gives you, it is necessary to ascertain the truth by testing the information with your own body. If you continue to consume an animal diet of meat and dairy products, it will adversely impact your ability to digest and absorb nutrients, damaging your intestinal environment over time. Maintain a ratio of 85 to 90% plant-based foods and 10 to 15% animal-based foods. Sugar Blues by William Duffy. The late endocrinologist John W. Tintera was quite emphatic. It is quite possible to improve your disposition, increase your efficiency, and change your personality for the better. The way to do it is to avoid cane and beet sugar in all forms and guises. People who kick sucrose addiction and stay off sucrose find that the glucose level of their blood returns to normal and stays there. The resistance of our people to infectious diseases would be greatly increased by a vastly improved and more wholesome diet. Both coronary disease and diabetes have a common cause: white sugar and white flour. Oh, by the way, Sugar Blues was published in 1975. Wheat Belly by William Davis, MD. Given the genetic distance that has evolved between modern-day wheat and its evolutionary predecessors, is it possible that ancient grains such as emmer and einkorn can be eaten without the unwanted effects that attach to other wheat products? I have a wheat sensitivity, so in the interest of science, I conducted my own little experiment. 4 ounces of einkorn bread on day 1 versus 4 ounces of modern organic whole wheat bread on day 2. Dr. Davis goes into some detail about the results of his little experiment. After eating the einkorn bread, his blood sugar was 110 milligrams per deciliter, and he felt fine. The next day, after eating the bread made with modern organic whole wheat, his blood sugar was 167 milligrams per deciliter. He became nauseated, had stomach cramps, and after a rough night's sleep, still couldn't think straight the next morning. It was a full day and a half before he started feeling normal again. My personal experience, of course, does not qualify as a clinical trial, but it raises some questions about the potential differences that span a distance of 10,000 years. Ancient wheat that predates the changes introduced by human genetic intervention versus modern wheat. I agree with Elisheva Rogosa, founder of the Heritage Wheat Conservancy. Dr. Davis said of her, Ellie bristles at the suggestion that wheat products might be unhealthy, citing instead the yield-increasing, profit-expanding agricultural practices of the past few decades as the source of adverse health effects of wheat. She views einkorn and emmer as the solution, restoring the original grasses grown under organic conditions to replace modern industrial wheat. After I first read this book some years ago, Marcia and I immediately bought a grain mill and ordered some einkorn wheat berries. Since then, we bake our own whole grain einkorn bread, and she makes homemade pizza every Friday with einkorn crust and einkorn blueberry pancakes every weekend. Also, I take very seriously Dr. Davis's warnings about the negative effects of hybridized wheat on our health. Given the fact that over 99% of all wheat grown worldwide is hybridized, Marcia and I limit our consumption of packaged and restaurant food that contains wheat. Now, 2 final suggestions from Dr. Davis. Vegetables in all their wondrous variety are the best foods on planet Earth. Rich in nutrients such as flavonoids and fiber, they should form the centerpiece of everyone's diet. You can't overdo nuts, provided they're raw.